At the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, I'm Clint Watson, and this is ZNS.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Here's a look at tonight's top stories. Uncertainty looms over President Trump's tariff impacts on the Bahamas economy. Plus, Pinedale voters cast ballots today after a tied local government election. And the Energy Minister discusses Family Island energy reform plan.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
The biggest fear would be inflation, the rising cost of food, gasoline, travel, merchandise, those kinds of things. And so Bahamians, no matter what, should brace, really look at their plans again, reorganize themselves.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Raven Davis. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping news tonight, the United States President's latest tariff moves, including a 25% tax on steel and aluminum, are raising questions. A local financial expert suggests the impact on the Bahamas could be minimal, but warns of potential unforeseen effects. The details straight ahead in tonight's top story. Uncertainty surrounds President Donald Trump's aggressive tariff policies as he continues imposing duties on nations to boost U.S. revenue and reduce the trade deficit. While the Bahamian business community has expressed concerns about the potential impact on the nation's heavily import-dependent economy, financial expert Roger Roll suggests the effect will be minimal. However, he cautions Bahamians to remain prepared for any unforeseen consequences.
By all means, one of the biggest fear would be inflation, the rising cost of food, gasoline, travel, merchandise, those kinds of things. And so Bahamians, no matter what, should brace, really look at their plans again, reorganize themselves.
Roll says the country's tourism sector is most likely to bear the brunt of these tariff-related challenges.
The issue about the earning ability of the citizens of the United States, where the majority of our tourists come from, these are factors where if there's uncertainty, they may have a whole lot of money even now, but decide that, look, instead of taking vacation this year, because this person is making these kinds of decisions, I'm just going to decide not to travel. And therefore, the Bahamas will not get any monies from me.
President Trump initially postponed a 25% tariff on imports from Mexico and Canada, as well as a 10% tariff on China. However, just yesterday, he imposed a 25% tax on foreign steel and aluminum. Despite these moves, Roll says the tariffs bring increased focus to the pressing issue of boosting local food production in the Bahamas.
The farming, the fishing, things of this nature to help bring down or subsidize whatever it is towards feeding ourselves is going to be the second biggest factor.
He says the tariffs could open opportunities, especially in logistics and freight forwarding, and that diversifying trade could bring positive change.
Trump move is more the reason why the government, in the case of Grand Bahama, the Port Authority and their top officials, along with establishments like the Freeport Container Port, should really gather and brainstorm and effectively put together some strategies to sell to other nations on logistics and opportunities, new avenues of which there can be imports and exports.
Well, today is decision day for the Pinedale community after the recent local government elections ended in a tie for two candidates. A slow trickle of voters made their way to Mount Zion Baptist Church's community center Tuesday morning, looking to mark an X for the candidate of their choice. Our Cleopatra Murphy caught up with the candidates on the ballot and a few voters.
It was round two for candidates Chantel Forbes and Marvette Russell, who for a second time in weeks were hoping to secure residents' votes, this time in the runoff election for polling Division 13 in the local government election for West Grand Bahama. After a tie 54 votes, both candidates say they are feeling more confident. Forbes, who grew up in Pinedale, says she wants to make a difference in her community, starting with a feeding program.
I have a little restaurant and bar through there. I want to do a back-to-school plan. I want to clean up the neighborhood. I want to feed the elderlies and the children, like twice a month, I guess, give free breakfast and free lunch and stuff, do a program for our community, especially my community. And if others decide to come, there'll be no problem.
Having also grown up in the area, Marvette Russell says she is ready to take the area to another level.
They have a senior program going on in Pinedale. I want to work more with that. I want to help with the after-school program with some of the kids. I want to develop a community whereas we are our brother's keepers.
Omar Isaacs and Chantel McPhee, both campaigning for Russell and Forbes, say the candidate they support is the one for the job.
The visions I had for West Grand Bahama that she shares in is creating a second city in the second city. And she's behind that 100%, and I'm behind her 100%.
I've known Chantel Forbes now over 20-something years. I've grown up in Pinedale, and she's a person that you see all the time when you're in Pinedale. And like I say, she's a people's person.
Two of those voters say they did not vote in the January 2030 elections, but explain why it was important to do so this time.
I'm a lifelong resident of 8 Mile Rock, and I think that local government has a very important role to play, and I'm here to support my local candidate. She's someone that I've known for many years, and I feel like she'll do well.
See, it'll make a difference, that's all. They say it was a tight one, so.
Polls opened promptly at 8 a.m., and West Grand Bahama Administrator and Returning Officer Leonard Dames Jr. predicts greater participation this time.
It would be maybe twice or even double or even triple as much as persons that came out because, again, as I've indicated, I would have seen a steady flow of excitement within the community. Early this morning, I've seen persons driving up and down and even stopping. So we expect, really, that more persons would really come out this time and vote.
Polls closed at 6, with the count following shortly after, while a recount will be held Wednesday. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
Thanks, Cleo. In other news, for the 26th year, the Grand Bahama Business Outlook is making its landfall at the Grand Lucayan this Thursday at 8:45 a.m. under the theme Prioritizing Inclusive Sustainable Growth. The one-day conclave will host a myriad of speakers, many of whom are local staples throughout the Grand Bahama financial community. President and founder of the 8-Island Business Outlook, Joan Albury, says the event is one many have been looking forward to.
We are in 8 islands. And we have islands calling us, asking us to consider them for an outlook. For example, there's Bimini, there's Inagua, and so there's potential, great potential in the outlooks, and people are hungry for this kind of information. And the benefit is that you can get this information in one day.
Albury adding that the upcoming event is an opportunity like no other for local proprietors to receive insight on the forthcoming economic year.
It's a fantastic opportunity, and it's well worth the time, and I encourage people to come and spend the day. You can also watch us online, and in addition, there's some great prizes. But to get these prizes, to win any of these prizes, you have to be there in person, and you have to be there at the end of the day.
Well, switching gears now, the Minister of Energy and Transport, the Honorable JoBeth Colby Davis, emphasizing the government's commitment to including family islands in the nation's energy reform plans. This as work continues to promote accessible and sustainable Bahamas. Jolanda Thompson-Everest has more in this report.
In an interview with the Minister of Energy and Transport, JoBeth Colby Davis, she shares how the Electricity Act 2024 and the Natural Gas Act 2024 serves as a conversation starter for updating the country's energy policy. This includes reducing the cost of kilowatts used, transitioning to cleaner fuels like natural gas, and introducing an independent power producer on the family islands.
Also providing that level of support that we've done by reducing the cost under 200 kWh kilowatt hours is zero rated now at the base rate, and so that helps to decrease the cost. We're also looking to transition from the diesel to a more cleaner fuel, which is LNG, liquefied natural gas, and make sure that that assists with reducing the cost as well. And also we have introduced independent independent power producers on our family island. So as we begin to conclude those agreements, we'll be able to see more input of solar panels to assist with lowering the cost, having more renewables online, and also cleaner and more cheaper fuel.
Besides the introduction of the independent power producers, these positive impacts of the two key pieces of legislation will also include building utility-scale solar panel in the family islands, expansion of solar projects on New Providence, the modernization of the electricity grid and transmission and distribution network.
We're still doing a lot of work in our family islands to make sure we eliminate some of the frustrations that they're presently having with power outages. So work on our power lines has been going on, and hopefully we're able to assist with lowering the cost, but also bringing about the reliability that everyone deserves.
The minister states that power and energy are the lifeblood of the Bahama Islands. She explains that as the island continues to grow and investors recognize the beauty of the country, the demand on the power system will only increase.
Getting it right is a priority, not just for the people to live comfortably, but also for us to continue to influence through having reliable and affordable power, the introduction of more and more investors, but also to begin to continue to expand our tourism product and have more visitors.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson, Everest.
Well, from the House, the Foreign Service Bill passed in the House of Assembly yesterday. Senators gathering to express the need for this legislation. Our Shalia Roll has the highlights.
I'd like to encourage the motoring public to please, while traversing the streets of Grand Bahama, stay within the safety speed zones. Buckle up.
In news from police on Abaco are busy investigating the circumstances surrounding an attempted suicide on Monday, February 10th on Guanaqui. Officers were alerted around 9:45 a.m. about an adult male who allegedly consumed a large quantity of medication. Now a medical evaluation was conducted, and tonight police continue to actively investigate this matter.
And still to come.
The Royal Bahamas Police Force making a generous donation to the Grand Bahama Health Services. We will have that story and sports highlights when the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, returns.
There are some things that are undeniably Bahamian. A good conch salad, junkanoo, the way we worship, the way we take care of one another, all undeniably Bahamian. And right in the midst of our iconic things, places, and people is Commonwealth Bank. Increasing access, sponsoring dreams, working alongside Bahamians to increase the quality of their lives for more than 60 years. Commonwealth Bank, nothing more than being Bahamian. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
Dolly Madison.
Bethel's Air Conditioning and Refrigeration presents a Valentine's Day sale from February 1st to the 14th. Get Boreal Lotus Series 17C mini split inverter units with bonded prices starting at $444.50. Cash sale only. Don't miss out.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Welcome back. For this 17th year, Reach Out Youth Organization is hosting its Boys to Men Conference at the New Life Community Center in hopes of not only nurturing the young boys in attendance, but to inspire them to make a notable impact in their respective communities. Our Matthew Martin-Barrow shares more in this report.
Everything they showing is crime. Murder, murder, murder. Look tonight, these guys are in church. So we should be rejoicing.
scores of young men lined the streets at the 17th Annual Boys to Men Conference here at the New Life Worship Center. The young men listen attentively as the successful male figures from the Grand Bahama community share valuable advice on the keys to success. The hope is that one day they will become respectable figures in their own right.
That's my message to the next generation, that, hey, put your eyes on the prize pretty much. Concentrate on your schoolwork. Concentrate on being an entrepreneur. Concentrate on positive stuff. What we highlight so much is negative, and all they saying is negative. But that's why this conference is so powerful, because we want this next generation to understand we are dependent on them.
The guest speakers in attendance share through their message to the youth that being a man is tolling. However, it can be rewarding.
The world alone, you need discipline in order for anything to happen. Hard work never kills. You know, we find a lot of people today, they want a job, but they don't want work. And so we're trying to instill into them that hard work don't kill.
To the young men that were here, that they were born unstoppable, that there's something on the inside of them that God has given them from birth, that they are able to be successful in all of their endeavors as long as they put God first.
Put God first. And if you put God first, then he's going to direct your path, because he knows the plans he has for all of us.
With organizations such as Reach Out and neighborhood figures like officers from the Royal Bahamas Police Force, the effort to ensure the development and safety of the young boys into strong, reputable young men continues to be a valiant one. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Matthew Martinborough.
Well, we apologize for the technical difficulty earlier. We go back now to news from the House. The Foreign Service bill passed in the House of Assembly yesterday. Senators gathering to express the need for this legislation. Our Shelia Rome has the highlights.
Senators gathering in the upper house to discuss a number of bills, with the Foreign Service bill being one. Government leader in the Senate, Michael Helquides, and mover of the bill, says that this bill is expected to bring transparency and efficiency in the Foreign Service, adding that the goals of the Foreign Service bill is to provide clear guidelines and employment paths to public officers.
It's the view of the government, Madam President, that arranging the affairs in this way will allow for more effective development and promotion of the foreign affairs of the Bahamas. It will be beneficial for the employees, both ambassador staff, as well as the technical and support staff, in terms of laying out clear roles, clear structure, clear avenues of advancement, career path. And so we expect this to be advantageous for us in the Bahamas.
Agreeing with the bill is Senator the Honorable Randy Rule, who says that this is a bold step forward, acknowledging the dynamic and multifaceted nature of global democracy.
An inflection point in the management of the Bahamas foreign affairs, as it provides an operational framework that is attuned to distinguishes of modern diplomacy. It is a bold step forward, Madam President, one that acknowledges the dynamic and multifaceted nature of global democracy, while ensuring our foreign service officers are adequately equipped to represent the nation with dignity, competence, and strength.
Senator the Honorable James Turner weighing in on the Foreign Service bill, stating that this upgrade is more than welcomed.
And progressive society, we should be advancing on all fronts and in all sectors. The modernization of the foreign affairs sector is a welcomed upgrade for all of us who live outside of the nation's capital.
Now the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Fred Mitchell, releasing a statement thanking members of the Senate who passed the Foreign Affairs bill in the upper house, adding that the passage of the bill completes the legislative steps to bring into force a new Foreign Service regime. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shelia Rule.
In other news, after a 5-year hiatus, GirlCon Bahamas makes a triumphant return, incorporating resilience with extravagance as some 250 students and 100 business professionals come together aboard the Margaritaville at Sea. Our Jolanda Thompson-Everest has more.
Margaritaville at Sea buzzed with excitement as GirlCon Bahamas made its highly anticipated return after a 5-year hiatus, welcoming over 200 students and 100 business professionals. Four dynamic speakers shared insights on the importance of social media and maintaining the art of balance. Founder Catherine Smith discusses the fourth-year event, explaining that she and her team engage with educators and counselors to better understand the factors that most impact children. She also discloses the purpose behind this year's unique theme.
What we are here to discuss today is how you strike a balance as young people with social media. And so we have a really good group of talented women who are going to talk about it.
The conference took extravagance to a whole new level, featuring prize giveaways, live musical performances from the St. George's High School Pop Band, and high energy that electrified the atmosphere. The speakers included Assistant Commissioner of Police Jana McKinsey, makeup artist Kishana Palmer, school psychologist Lakiska Russell Johnson, disc jockey Humphrey Smith Jr., and panel moderator Shanique Miller, a TV host on Beyond the Headlines. They all shared insights on how using social media the right way can shape a bright future, while misusing it could lead to regrettable consequences.
It's powerful, it's useful, but it's also very dangerous if you're not mindful of what you're doing.
I'm going to be encouraging positive behavior and attitudes and discouraging the negative use of the internet.
So you want to be as authentic as you can, be yourself, but you want to be very careful about the kind of information that you do put out there.
What's going to be important is for them to balance it so that they also remain healthy.
After the panel, students had the chance to participate in a question and answer session, followed by closing remarks from the Minister of Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie.
You have all become mentors of GirlCon.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson, Everest.
Thanks, Yolanda. While doing vehicle checks throughout Grand Bahama, officers realized that toddlers and children under the age of 5 are not being properly secured in moving vehicles. So, officers of the Royal Bahamas Police Force donating infant car seats to the Rands Memorial Hospital, hoping to assist new mothers.
I'd like to encourage the motoring public to please, while traversing the streets of Grand Bahama, stay within the safety speed zones, buckle up, because life may save might be your very own. And let's start with the toddlers and infants. So on an everyday basis, persons who are traveling with their children, like I said, in the vehicles and they're not properly secured by a seat belt, being distracted.
Administrator at the Rand Memorial Hospital, Adelisha Campbell, says that the hospital is grateful for this donation as mothers sometimes can't afford safety seats.
Initiative and this donation means a lot to us because many of times we have persons, young ladies especially, who come in, they're unable to comply with the regulations of the law as it relates to the car seating. And so our health social service workers then are tasked with going out into the community to seek and find a car seater for them to take their babies home.
And that's a look at stories making news. Jay, what's happening in sports?
I know you saw a number of cyclists on the weekend, right?
I did, on Sunday.
A whole lot of cyclists from all over the world here for the Tour de Grand Bahama.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Jay. Sports comes your way next, but first a check on your local weather forecast.
Tonight's weather forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
'Cause it's so beautiful.
See news in the making? Call us at 352-9713 or 359-5167, or you can email us at zns3news@gmail.com.
Step into platinum glamour at Freeport Fashion Week's opening night fashion show. Celebrate 70 years of style on March 14th at the Stone Crab Tino Beach. Donations start at $50. Get tickets at the Grand Bahama Port Authority. Follow at Freeport Fashion Week. Celebrate love at Portobello's in the Grand Lucayan with a special Valentine's dining experience. Enjoy a 4-course dinner on February 14th, a dinner buffet on February 15th, and a brunch on February 16th. Live music nightly. Get tickets at the lobby now. Call 373-1333 for details.
Good evening, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to Sports First in Sports. National champion Zion Shepherd is looking to make his third career to track and field team. Zion recently visited Texas Tech in Lubbock, Texas on an official visit.
At Texas, they made me feel like home, man. You know, Terrence Jones, Antoine Andrews, you know, a couple BMs up there, they made me feel welcome, man. I can't complain. Shout out to Coach Zach Lavash, shout out to Coach Rob. They made me feel special up there in Texas. Coach been doing this magic, coach. Amplified the record. Record's been getting harder. Been putting more speed work on me, so I've been throwing up in practice recently.
Next in sports, after 2 days of competition, Levinson Lonnie Duncombe emerged as the junior winner at the Tour de Grand Bahama.
Overall, both of the days, I rode very good. My strategies worked. I rode very well. Didn't do too much. Followed each plan very well, and overall, it was just a good race.
The overall winner was Caden Oliver from the University of Florida.
I'm pretty happy with it. Went clear with an hour and a half to go, first on solo, and won 3 out of 3 stages of the tour, so I'm pretty happy with it today.
Lee Gibbs placed second in the Masters category.
It was a good race. It was a good senior race, and we really did a good job this year with the seniors, the juniors, and the elite riders. I'm one of those guys who represent the age group. We were there at a youthful point, and now we're here with little age on us, but we're still keeping the sport alive, and it's good to know that we have youngsters that are following us in the sport.
It continues to get better. Grand Bahama Cycling Association continues to put on a very good tour. As you can see, we continue to attract more and more international cyclists, as well as the local cyclists, and we implement the school divisions. And as you can see, it's continuing to grow. The organization of the race is continuing to exceed expectation, and we're looking forward to this event becoming a staple event here in the country as well as in the Caribbean.
And that's your quick check on sports. Your Facebook friend of the day is next. I'm Jay Philippe. As always, be blessed.
Are you looking for clean, comfortable accommodations in Freeport? Castaways Resort. What about a convenient location to host that business seminar, meeting, or luncheon? Castaways Resort. Having a party or social? Need a beautiful scenic environment with a gorgeous pool view? Castaways Resort. A staple in this community, Castaways Resort is pleased to offer these services at your fingertips. Castaways Resort, 352-6682.
Valentine's Day is a perfect occasion to celebrate love. And what better way to do it than by joining us for a night of endless love at the Grace Bible Church. Picture a beautiful evening filled with romance, laughter, cherished moments with your loved ones. On Friday, February 14 at 7 p.m., prepare yourself for a magical night designed to warm the heart and strengthen bonds. Come dressed to impress as we share in the joy of love and togetherness. Tickets are available for $50 per person, ensuring an enchanting experience that you and your partner will remember forever. Don't miss out on this beautiful gathering dedicated to love. We look forward to celebrating with you.
#1 team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that is going to do it for us here in the North. I'm Raven Davis. Thank you so much for tuning in. A live look at the Bahamas tonight is on your screen. They're coming your way next.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, leading activists call on the government to stop enabling marriage to be an excuse for rape and assault. The details are straight ahead. Also, airport officials set a lofty goal for the country's main gateway, but one they're determined to achieve. And saving lives while having a pretty good time. One of the most respected charities gears up for a major moneymaker. The Bahamas tonight, the National Report starts now. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. Attorney General, Senator the Honorable Ryan Pinder, recently dashed hopes and triggered strong reaction when he announced there was unlikely to be any further movement on the proposed marital rape legislation. Proponents have long been pushing governments to move on this effort, but the subject remains as controversial as it is divisive. And now activists are again urging the government to get the legislation across the finish line. Corval Pyfrom has tonight's top story.
Obie Wilscomb's passing in 2023 was a setback for proponents of criminalizing spousal rape would not be an exaggeration. Activists like retired magistrate Cleopatra Christie say the former minister, whom she viewed as an ally, gave hope that the legislation needed to protect against this type of sexual violence would be enacted.
There was many meetings with the church. There were meetings with groups throughout the community, the University of the Bahamas, and I really was under the impression that we were on a great path to having this legislation passed.
But Attorney General Ryan Pinder, all but ruling out that there would be action on such legislation in this term, has left these activists almost dumbstruck.
So I am disappointed that with the statement made by the Attorney General, but be that as it may, the men seem to rule the world.
And I think that women throughout the country have to tell the politicians, we want this. We want this.
Christie says, unfortunately, there still seems to be widespread misunderstanding of the difference between marital sex versus marital rape.
We're talking about a relationship that has probably gone bad, and now a partner wants to have his way, even though the relationship is sour. And we're talking about that kind of sex, where people force and threaten and make the other partner take part in the act of marital sex.
Crisis Center Director Dr. Sandra Dean Patterson, meanwhile, says neighboring jurisdictions have already criminalized spousal rape, and as the Bahamas drags its feet on the issue, women's lives hang in the balance as they suffer in silence.
Ashamed. They're embarrassed. They don't want anybody to know their husband is forcing them. They don't want anybody to know their husband gave them an STI. They don't, so they don't tell. So they suffer in silence. And they are the silent victims of this thing that we are not willing to address.
And so these activists are calling on the government to stop what they say is enabling marriage as an excuse for rape and assault. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corval Pyfrom.
Meantime, a 46-year-old man charged yesterday for the sexual assault of a 73-year-old woman. Prosecutors allege that Ricardo Bannister broke into the woman's Weybridge Road and Harvest Close home on the night of January 30th this year. Bannister was arraigned by Magistrate Carolyn Vogt Evans on the charges of rape and burglary. He was not allowed to plead, as his case will be sent to the Supreme Court by way of a voluntary bill of indictment on May 19th. It's there that he can apply for bail. As for now, he's been at the Bahamas Department of Corrections. Well, the government and the opposition going head-to-head tonight over claims of Bahamian passports being acquired by fraud. The Free National Movement pushing out a release this afternoon, citing reports that 2 people with valid work permits, along with a foreign teen, were able to obtain Bahamian passports using forged certificates of registration and forged letters from the Department of Immigration that the Passport Office accepted. Shadow Minister of Foreign Affairs Darren Henfield goes further to express hope that an audit is underway at the Passport Office and elsewhere, and that if it hasn't yet happened, protocols be enforced at that office to mitigate such issues. While defending the integrity of his agency, Chief Passport Officer Nicholas Simonet, but this much on the record.
When cases come before us, when cases are found, which all of these cases were found out based on audit that started at the Passport Office, not someone tipping us off, us doing an internal audit with immigration and NIB, and this is how we've been finding out about these cases, and we're taking proper action on them. So the only difference is that we're taking action.
Simonet insists it's nothing alarming. Rather, Bahamians should be proud fraudulent activity is being weeded out.
Our protocols are stronger now than ever. They used to have a protocol in place where any applicant, well, the system was designed where all applicants, whether they are renewing or new applicants, go through the same verification process. At some point in time, I wouldn't say the period, that was weakened. That was weakened by a decision that was made outside of Foreign Affairs based on the records, that new renewals are just renewals. They should not be asked for anything else. So what that was doing was creating a system where people were just clicking and renewing without any review. We have done away with that.
And speaking of passports, let's face it, traveling into and out of the Caribbean is costly. But if aviation and tourism officials can work out the logistics of making air travel more affordable and more convenient, we could see even greater numbers of tourists and even greater benefits to economies, which delegates to the Roots Americas Conference are ironing out. Our Felicity Darville has the details.
Let's say you're here in the Bahamas and you want to travel to another destination like Barbados. Well, you're likely going to have to travel to Miami and then travel back into the Caribbean. Now, this can be rather expensive and also time-consuming. Imagine if you're traveling with a group or with family members. If you're interested in multi-destination travel, these logistics can be a deterrent. Well, issues like these are what Caribbean aviation executives are trying to solve as they meet here at Routes Americas 2025.
And I think these are discussions that must be held, obviously, at the policy level when it speaks about a connective Caribbean, especially if we are going to be trying to gain a greater share of the competition, and we are able to market the entire Caribbean as a destination to compete against some of the more prominent key source markets.
There's a 3% compound annual growth rate on aviation in the region, and according to Dr. Kenneth Romer, Bahamian statistics mirror that, making the Bahamas a formidable player in the aviation industry and making the need for connectivity that much more important. Trevor Sadler of Inter-Caribbean Airways and Hans van der Verde of Winair spoke on this issue of interconnectivity.
So there is not a lack of connectivity. It's too much. People live on small islands. You can't expect jets or double daily flights between these small islands.
Because we focus on inter-island traffic, it has the flows of folks who live on our islands wishing to move between islands, and they pay the same burden as everyone else who comes to the region.
While we are looking at reducing prices, we need to look also at improving our product and developing our people. We win by putting our people at the forefront, by investing in our people, understanding the value of human capital, and also addressing the product deficiencies. And if we do that, I think we'll start seeing us getting a greater gain in the competitive environment.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Felicity Darville.
Well, the Roots Americas Conference closes out tomorrow. Well, ahead of the Foreign Service bills passing in the Senate last evening, the government had already moved to expand the country's diplomatic presence with an overall view of diversifying trade and investments here. Carla Palmer reports on the moves already in motion.
Though a small island nation, Senator Barry Griffin is convinced that the Bahamas has the power to shape its destiny through diplomacy and foreign engagement, and says the government is doing just that in making its presence felt throughout the world.
This government is now actively engaged in appointing over 22 new honorary consuls around the world.
Having underscored the benefits of a diplomatic presence globally, Senator Griffin highlights the potential in using diplomacy as a bridge to creating economic opportunities of trade and investments for Bahamians.
So even where we may not have a consulate or embassy, this government is ensuring that Bahamian interests are looked after across the globe and that Bahamians have a resource and contact should they need assistance anywhere in the world.
Already, the Bahamas has consulate offices in some 29 countries.
This year alone, we plan to open diplomatic missions in Jamaica, Trinidad, and the United Arab Emirates. As we look to increase business opportunities for Bahamians and inward investment to our country, these strategic moves will undoubtedly open countless opportunities for Bahamians.
According to Senator Griffin, our vast diplomatic presence is an asset to our country's trade and investment business development.
We have a substantial student population in Jamaica who will be able to better access Bahamian resources. Jamaica and Trinidad are also ripe markets for export of Bahamian products as well as import of products that provide variety and lower cost options from things from poultry, cleaning products, fruits, snack foods, motor oil, and the list continues.
Senator Griffin is hopeful that the trade and investment linkages could assist greatly the diversification of our country's economy while also promoting job creation. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Carla Palmer.
The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
Imagine a world where every brand knows your name and every store awaits your arrival. Elite shopping, travel where luxury is a lifestyle and every journey feels like home. Dine where every flavor is just for you, every table reserved, and every moment a taste of perfection. Make every big moment even bigger. Experience banking where wealth isn't just managed, it's maximized. Step into a world without limits. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
KFC Value Box for just $9.95. Crunch your KFC craving with a KFC Value Box for just $9.95. Get a piece of our golden fried chicken, crispy fries, cheesy mashed potatoes, 3 juicy all-white meat nuggets, a buttery biscuit, a sweet dessert biscuit, and a 16-ounce soda, all for just $9.95. Now that's a deal. Big flavor, bigger value, and always KFC. Finger licking good.
Whether you're crossing borders or navigating busy airports, with BTC's reliable data roaming, you're always in touch. In a fast-paced world, staying connected is key. Don't miss important moments. Stay connected effortlessly with BTC, wherever your journey takes you.
Get ready, the biggest junior regatta in the Bahamas is back. The Sedora Knolls National Junior Sailing Championship begins from February 20th to the 22nd at Montague Foreshore, featuring the very best in junior sailing, with clubs competing in Sunfish, Opti, Laser, and E-Class races. And that's not all. Youth talent will be on full display with performances from school pop bands and a special rusher from the winners of the Junior Junkanoo Parade. And it goes without saying, there will be plenty of delicious Bahamian food and fun activities for kids of all ages on site. So mark those calendars. You won't want to miss this.
Honey barbecue, sweet and spicy all noon. Signature hot wings. What's your flavor? Roasted garlic parmesan, tastes so good, chicken. Those pepper wings.
Now available at Popeyes in Nassau.
edition of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies. Safety first.
You're looking at a shot of popular hangout Porter Ski that sits on the waterfront just north of Paradise Island. Oh, welcome back. Another case of fake news in the office of the Prime Minister's not having it. Director of Communications Latrey Ramming dismissing recent reports of the government agreeing to become a territory of China as unequivocally false. The incident again prompting a warning to Bahamians to be mindful of what they consume on social media, especially leading up to the general elections.
I've seen a number of these WhatsApp threads seeking to implicate falsely government officials, persons who serve in government. What we want to say to the Bahamian people to be very vigilant of this type of activity, particularly on Facebook. I mean, I've seen some claims widely suggesting that the Bahamas had sold land to China. We are heading into what is described as an election season. We want Bahamians to verify the source of the information, to know that, I'll say it again, Bahamas Punch, Bahamas Exclusive, Bahamas Times, Bahama Drama. These are not credible pages for information. These are pages utilized by opposition operatives with the intentions to misinform the Bahamian people. And this is being generated by AI technology. So we want them to be on guard and to know that it exists.
More than $1.2 billion spent bringing items into the country during the fourth quarter of 2024, a 16% increase when you consider how the numbers stacked up during the same period last year. Stats show the major merchandise groups were machinery and transport equipment, totaling $287 million, food and live animals at $212 million, and manufactured goods at $193 million. Other categories contributing significantly were miscellaneous manufactured articles, which accounted for $180 million, mineral fuels, lubricants, and related materials at $144 million, and chemicals at $82 million. Now, the dollar value of items leaving the country during 2024's fourth quarter also increasing by 27%, largely behind this upswing. Miscellaneous manufactured articles totaling $57 million, food and live animals at $39 million, and machinery and transport equipment at $25 million. Groups that decreased in value were mineral fuels, lubricants and related materials, and animal and vegetable oils and fats, and manufactured goods. Well, it's no exaggeration. Egg prices are at an all-time high, leaving grocers like SuperValue scrambling for a solution. In this next report, Lloyd Allen explores the future of egg prices and how government intervention may bring the relief consumers so desperately desire.
As the U.S. trade war continues affecting many items on the shelf, including eggs, officials at SuperValue say efforts are now being made to crack those prices, making eggs affordable for you and your family. Tight-lipped on the details, SuperValue Food Stores President and Chief Financial Officer Deborah Simonet did share with ZNS News they're in talks to break egg prices amidst a trade war and a health crisis.
I feel very confident that soon, in the very near future, we will be able to offer our customers a much better price. And so what's happening is, in order to control the flu, they are having to slaughter the chickens. So the supply of the chickens is getting less.
With the average price on conventional eggs now just under $10, little wonder consumers are scrambling for some relief.
I can't afford to buy eggs anymore, and I'm a baker, so I have to find another option.
Simonet says there are challenges, but offers hope for the important breadbasket item and similar products.
Not only do we have to try to source eggs from elsewhere, we'll also have to source these other items.
She says both the company and government are working to secure a supplier, not just outside the U.S., but also one not requiring shipment through the Panama Canal.
The government is encouraging the new trade, I think it's called the Trade Commission, where they're trying to hook suppliers up with other sources other than the U.S.
SuperValue is also open to the idea of sourcing locally.
There's the Golden Yolk Project. We were really happy when the government came up with that initiative, but unfortunately, They supplied us for a while, and it seems to be on hold. So we're just hoping that soon they will ramp up again.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
Stay with us. There's more to come in the National Report.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
Is the Little Caesars Stuffed Crust Pizza. Get more pizza for less money. Only $12. It's a whole new level of pizza with cheese stuffed crust so spectacular that there's nothing left.
Pizza.
A delicious pepperoni pizza with the crust stuffed with lots of cheese and brushed with butter and garlic flavor and sprinkled with Parmesan cheese. Hot and ready Thursday to Saturday between 4 and 8 for only $12. Simply irresistible. And only at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, we have been in Exuma now for the past 4 years, carrying out our paving program. A part of our company's philosophy is to do some work to international standards. So when you look at our paving division, we have a state-of-the-art lab to do all of our testing in-house, as well as a state-of-the-art asphalt plant with a trained technician carrying out the work on that site. The overarching goal of our company is to produce the work that we're doing in the entire Bahamas to international standards. We also make a difference by the training of our staff. We have a very intensive training program going on to where we are teaching young men how to learn the art of striping. Being a young man myself, I've made mistakes in the past. I was given a second chance to better my life, and it's only fitting that we pass it along. What's important for us is giving them a second chance for them to get a skill and a career that could take them further in life.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station. Open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
As long as you've got your suit and tie and ball gowns, of course, the Bahamas Heart Foundation's gearing up to give its attendees a night to remember, and all for a real good cause. Danielle Dean caught the committee right in the middle of preparation today and got some of the details.
We are preparing our raffles and our prizes for our auction, and that's one of the highlights of the ball. People get to come and bid on lovely prizes, exquisite artwork, jewelry, and many other items. Like you probably can see in the back of me, a large grill.
Yolanda Fernander, the Heart Foundation's public relations representative, says attendees can expect to be wowed by the ball this coming Saturday and should come prepared to let their hair down for a night fun yet meaningful. Her passion for saving hearts and people came after a young family member was born with a heart defect.
We decided that we should give back because we were grateful that his life was spared. We were able to happen to put him on the insurance at the last minute. The bill was over $300,000, and we really had the experience of wondering where we were going to get the money from.
A reality Fernander and Treasurer Linda LaFleur say those in similar predicaments don't have to face alone.
We will help. We will do the best we can, and we will make sure I don't have to worry about the payments and all like that. We'll pay. We'll, so I comfort them and, with those kind of words when they realize they don't have to pay.
LaFleur, who's been with the organization for over 50 years, invites everyone to support the upcoming fundraiser as they push to save even more lives. The foundation's ball is set to take place at 7:15 p.m. on the 15th of this month at the Bahamar Convention Center. Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
Well, thanks, Danielle. LaDawn joins us live at this juncture to give us a sneak peek of what's coming up in Access Now. LaDawn?
Makushala, a relationship counselor, is in the house this evening. He's been married for about 25 years, and we're going to reveal who that is coming up in Access Now.
Well, some pretty good stuff. Stay with us. The National Report is back after the break.
Diet-friendly special.
Hello?
You guys had anything to eat as yet? Y'all know Christmas just gone and the rock.
All right, but y'all let me working all day, but what we gonna eat?
If we was by the mall, we could go by Wendy's and get the Dave special for $5.
Yeah, but you do know that the Dave's deal is now actually nationwide, right?
Wait, let's go. Cable Beach right there.
Let's go.
All right.
What? You don't know who TDC is? Tourism Development Corporation? You mean the Ministry of Tourism? No, that ain't the same thing, but the Tourism Development Corporation helps to develop and grow Bahamian businesses in the tourism industry. You heard what they say, boy? Oh, yeah. Develop and grow. You don't know what all the things they do? What does do?
Hey, check the website, boy. Start your journey to ownership of our #1 industry today. Log on to tdcbahamas.com.
Welcome to What's Trending. Join me, Jiminita Swain.
And me, The Bahama Beauty, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m.
Only on the ZNS Network.
And that does it for the National Report, but stay close. The Bahamas Tonight continues with Access Now.
Ladies and gentlemen, mark your calendars. On February 22nd, 2025, the Ministry of Ladies and gentlemen, mark your calendars. On February 22nd, 2025, the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training proudly presents the Excellence in Education Awards Ceremony, a night to honor the heart and soul of education. Our educators, administrative, and technical support teams. We'll honor creativity with the Innovation Award, perseverance with the Resilience Award, and long-term commitment with the Longest Serving with Excellence Award. Celebrate school pride with the School Spirit Award and proven strategies with the Best Practice Award.